How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video. This in front of us is the new Surface Pro 9, and I've been using it for a bit just to see what the fuss is about. It's got a great display. It's got bits and bobs there going for it, and we're going to talk about all of that in this review and give you my opinion and see what my experience was with the Surface Pro 9. Let's get on with it. The packaging and everything about the Surface Pro 9 looks very familiar. So if you've had a Surface Pro 8 or any predecessors, you are familiar with what you get in here. So let's open it up. Inside the box, you're greeted straight away with the Surface Pro 9, and this is the blue version. I think it's called Sapphire or something like that, but this blue color really pops and it looks really nice and premium. Underneath the laptop itself, the 2.1, the 2-in-1 Surface Pro 9, you get two extra boxes which has things in there that you need to check out. First, you have your user guide, quick start guide and warranty information, so keep that safe. It's got some vital information there that you can read and just to get you started very quickly. You also get your charging brick as well. It's a 65 watts charging brick, which charges the Surface Pro 9 up very quickly. But what I also love about the Surface Pro lineup in terms of the charger is it has a USB-A port on the charging brick itself. So with this, it just means you can save yourself an extra port somewhere so you can use it for other things, maybe charge your phone, charge other peripherals, whilst you can keep the ports free on the Surface Pro 9 itself. And that's about it. It's very simple. There's nothing much in the packaging. If you do purchase extra accessories, you can get the new type cover, which also has the new Slim Pen 2 in there. So with this new Slim Pen 2, it's just something that we're used to. It's got the eraser at the top. It's got the clicky bits in there. It's very precise, does the job, works really well. If you have the Surface, the Slim Pen 2 before, you'll be able to use that with this, so that's not a problem. Then you get your type cover, which comes, the version I've got here comes in this nice Alcantara finishing, which looks really nice and soft, and you can just dock the Surface Pro 9 on top of there. It's got a new connector, which means only certain ones will work with this from the predecessors. Only some of them will work with the Surface Pro 9, so keep that in mind. But otherwise, if you get this one, it works with the new connector. You can tuck away the Surface Pen, the Slim Pen 2 as well. So you just raise the type cover up and it'll cover that up so you don't see it. And when you need to use it, you can just pull it back down and that reveals your Slim Pen 2. The type cover is really good in terms of the typing, the key travel. It just feels really nice. It's not too loud. It's pretty much a joy to type on. The trackpad area is kind of smallish. It's not the biggest out there, but it does the job and it's nice and clicky as well, which I kind of like. So this keyboard really works really well. Moving on to the rest of the design, what you notice here is we have this curved look now compared to, I think, the Surface Pro 5, which is more boxy looking and stuff like that. So it's got that nice curved edges all around it, so it's nice and cornered off rather than curved, actually. And it just feels really nice and premium. I really like what they've done here. They've done a really good job at hiding what's behind it in terms of the fans on the back, in terms of the ventilator. They've done a really good job of hiding that from the front view, so that way it just doesn't feel like there's anything to it on the back, which is pretty cool. The power button's been moved to the top, so straight away when you take this out of the bag and you power it on, it's just there. You don't have to fiddle around trying to find it. It's just there. Just press it and you're good to go. And you got your volume rockers there as well next to it, so you can, really nice and clicky. It feels really nice when you press it, so you can change the volume there. To the right of the device, we get the Surface connector port, and that's all you get on that side. On the left of the device, we get two Thunderbolt ports, Thunderbolt 4, which means you can connect this to an external GPU if you want to do that. If you need extra power to do with this, you can connect it to extra monitors if you want to get a bit more resolution out of this, and that's all you get. There's no 3.5mm headphone ports, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why they've taken that out. It would have been nice if they left that there. But all that means is you can only connect to this using a Bluetooth pair of headphones, or if you have those USB-C dongles, you'll be able to connect it that way as well if you wish to do that. On the front, we have our camera on there, which also supports Windows LO. And then on the back, underneath that kickstand, which is still one of the best kickstands out there, it feels really nice and sturdy. It's nice and stiff, so you can put it into different angles that you want to put it in. You can lay it almost flat if you want to do that, so when you're designing and all that kind of stuff. But underneath that area now we have where a new way of getting into the SSD drive. So if you want to swap the SSD out, before you have to get a SIM ejector tool almost to push it out to get it out. But now you just have to press it down, slide it up, and you just access it straight away. It just means you don't need that extra accessory with you all the time if you want to carry it around with you and all that stuff. But as far as design goes, I think it's really nice. I think they've done a good job again at keeping this nice and slim. It's really nice and portable, and I just love how it looks. My only qualms with this is obviously it's a 2-in-1 laptop, and this is not something you can easily balance on your lap. So if you're using it away somewhere on your lap, it's not the most comfortable to type on when you're doing that. So do bear that in mind. But other than that, I think it's a great design. It's one of the best 2-in-1 laptops as far as design goes. So I can't fault it there at all. Okay, moving on to the display. So here we have a 13-inch PixelSense Flow display. The resolution will give you 267 ppi and it's good with color reproduction as well. This is 120 Hz refresh. So that means when you're gaming, when you're scrolling, all that kind of stuff, just looks really smooth and just pops, looks really nice. I like what they've done here. Elsewhere, we do get Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the screen, so should be fairly scratch resistant. It's not the best of the as far as Corning Gorilla Glass goes, but this is still good enough. And we get a 3:2 aspect ratio. Again, nothing new there. We've got slight bezel all around it. And also here we have 100% sRGB. You can choose between sRGB mode or some other modes on there, but I tend to leave on sRGB because that's what I would need to edit my photos and all that kind of stuff. It's also around 84% P3. So in terms of colors, accuracy and all that stuff, I think this does a great job of doing that. There's 2 different versions of this. There's the Intel version and there's the SQ version. And all that means is the SQ version allows you to connect 5G to this. If someone who needs connectivity on the go, you'd probably opt for that one, but it doesn't mean you'll be saving money. You might lose some of those performance, but you're not going to be saving money when you do that. One thing to remember though as well is when you choose different colors, it also determines which storage you can get on this. So bear that in mind. So this particular one will only go up to 256 gigabytes of internal storage. So that's something to bear in mind there. In terms of speakers, on the front, we've got these 2 forward-facing speakers just right on the side here, which they sound really good. It's a 2-watt stereo speaker with Dolby Atmos, and they sound really good for what this is. I think I've been listening to music on there, watch videos on there. I think the speakers are good. Otherwise, plug in your headphones and you're good to go. But if you really just want to quickly play something, there's no problems there. One thing I forgot to mention is you do get a 10 megapixel camera on the back, which you can use to take photos, obviously. And on the front, we still get that full HD video, 1080p video recording capability. Although, because this is no longer ARM processor, we do lose that tracking and all the extra features you get on the webcam. But other than that, it just gives you the standard feature in terms of webcam. Onto the processing power in here. So we do get a 12th gen Intel Core processor. You can opt for the i5 or the i7 processor. This particular one that I reviewed is the i7 processor. To be exact, looking at the 1255U and on the i5 is a 1235U Intel processor, both based on the Intel Evo platform, if I can say that right. And that's why we are able to get this slim profile laptop here and still get some good level of processing power. We have Intel Xe graphics in here. And in terms of pricing, when you need to price this up, you can build your own in terms of adding bits that you want and don't want on there. But this starts, just looking on the website right now, starts at £1,099 at the point of this review. Depending, it doesn't matter which color you get, they're all the same price. But let's build this sapphire color, this blue sapphire color. So when you build this device, it gives you the option to select which processor you want in there. So if we go for you can go from the 12th gen Intel i5 processor to the i7 to the SQ3 processor, and those start from £1,099 to the i5, then it goes to £1,599 for the i7, and then £1,299 for the SQ version, which is quite pricey. And then if you select the i7, you can then select if you want 5G. If you select the i5, you've got Wi-Fi option. 12th gen i7, you have Wi-Fi option, and then the last one, 5G option. So if we go for this one that we've got here, price it up. So £1,599 to start with, and then we select the color. As soon as you select the color, you are limited to what you can actually get. So we have a 16 gigabytes of RAM version, which is what I've got here. You can go up to 512 gigabytes of SSD. I think I said 256 earlier, but it's actually 512 gigabytes. But if you select the platinum color, you can go up to 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of SSD storage, and that will set you back £2,599. Very pricey. You're in the MacBook territory there, so M2 sort of territory, slowly MacBook Air that is. And then if we go for the forest green version, the 16 gigabytes, 512 is where you can go up to for £1,899. If you go for the graphite, you can go up to 16 gig and 512. So it seems like the only one you can get in the 1 terabyte, 32 gigabytes of RAM version would be the platinum version. So depending on what you want, pick the right color, pick the one you want. You could probably get a case or skin for it anyway, so it doesn't really matter which color you go for. So how did that performance go for me? So I tend to chuck in stuff that I do on a daily basis. So like all the office stuff. So whether it's doing Excel sheets, doing Word documents, doing Adobe stuff in terms of PDF, those work seamlessly. Open up so many tabs on Edge, Microsoft Edge, Those work really well. There's no problems at all. It's very, very fluid, very smooth. I have no qualms there. Where I do have some issue though is when I start loading up videos to edit in Premiere. Depending on the type of format that I'm shooting in, it can't handle some files. If I'm shooting pure MP4 files, there's no LUTs, there's no not LUTs. Sorry, I'm not shooting flat. I'm not shooting ProRes or anything like that. Absolute fine. It's very smooth. You can scrub through Premiere, no problems there at all. But when it comes to beginning to start to edit my ProRes files and stuff like that I've shot, and then you start to notice the glitchiness of it. It starts to lag. There's a bit of latency, especially with the playback. So when I'm trying to edit the color or color grade things, I start to see where this lags behind a little bit, which is a shame. But other than that, if you really want to edit videos, you can still edit videos on this. Otherwise, I would say get something that's actually dedicated for video editing, maybe a gaming laptop so you can edit those kind of stuff. Then I take it away and put into some benchmarking tools. Your Crystal Disk Mark stuff works really well in terms of read and write speeds are really good. There's no problems there. But when it comes to the actual 3D Mark and PC Mark 10, that's when you start to see where it comes through in terms of what is capable, what it can actually do. So 3D Mark for me is to do with the gaming, so graphics and stuff like that. So this is Intel Xe graphics in there. The graphics score on here is 862 and CPU score is 2,374 on 3D Mark. So total score for Time Spy is 953. And that was able to run that very well. I even chucked in Apex Legend on here. That was smooth. There was no problem. It loaded very well, connected the Xbox controller. Able to play that, there's no problem there. So if you want to game on this, you can game. You can play Apex Legend, no problem. I reckon you'll be getting around 30 frames per second or so comfortably and no problem. But you can switch in the settings. You can go between 60 and 120 hertz. So you can have it dynamic, but I set it to the max and I think I was getting around 30 frames per second playing Apex Legend and there's no hiccups there. When you chuck it into PC Mark 10, again, score was 4,028, which is not bad at all when it comes to productivity, but when it comes to things like editing videos, that's when things start to get a bit funny. When you compare that to what else is out there online, 3D Mark and PC Mark scored the lowest when it comes to comparing them to 2020 laptops for gaming, work environment and all that kind of stuff. The Pro 9 was right at the bottom there. Do with that what you will, but for me, what really matters is you can do everyday tasks, you can watch videos on here, no problems at all. The screen looks really good. When it comes to gaming, you can play Apex Legend, for example, so you can game on this. You can edit videos as well, although you have to be careful what kind of video files you're going to be working with to get the best results on the Surface Pro 9. But other than that, when it comes to heat dissipation, it doesn't do too bad when it comes to the heat, especially when it's not doing too much. So when it's just chilling and doing simple tasks and stuff like that, it doesn't get hot. But when it comes to when you push it and you start gaming and all that kind of stuff, that's when you start to feel the temperature come through. The fan kicks in, it's a bit loud, so do bear that in mind as well. But otherwise, very portable. It's still one of my favorite laptops. I mean, 2-in-1 laptops. I like what they've done with it. It looks really good and premium. But that price point, questionable. That's something that will get you thinking whether you want this or you want to compare what else is on the market and then go from there. So over to you. Let me know what you think. But I think that's it with my experience and the review of the Surface Pro 9. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. I hope I haven't missed anything because I tend to just, this unscripted, so I tend to just speak out regarding my experience with it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if I've missed anything, drop them in the comments as well. I'll do my best to come back on those. If this is your first time around here, please do subscribe, smash the bell notification and subscribe if I haven't said that already. And I shall see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.